Hello, everyone. Welcome back to where I am, and now I'm getting hand-jived by some of my players in this time. Da, da, da. I used to know that a long time ago, long ago when I was in high school. Welcome back to where I am, everyone, as my players still continue to hand-jive at me. Uh, we're in for a treat today as we begin sort of the second arc of the Gaffer story, and I don't know if this will be 3 arcs or if this is going to be like an anime where there are 35. Who knows? We'll just get there when we get there. So, unfortunately for our listeners tonight, you will not be hearing the serendipitous tones of William. He is ill, so we wish him the best, as Roscoe will be taken up with matters of state, and we will join our crew, the Gaffers, after a bit of a summer vacation on the Quellback estate, where Nikki is now holding reign as the liege lord of this particular area, or the autocrat, or whatever term, I don't know, you want to use, Nikki. I feel like autocrat may not be the
Regent.
one. Boss lady? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure
Boss
it out.
bitch.
Boss bitch. But as is,
Hashtag.
I'm a bitch. I'm a boss.
but as is our tradition, we're going to go around and introduce ourselves. And I asked the Gaffers a interesting question. So it's more or less, if you were not playing your current character, who do you think you would be playing in this game? So Gaffers, take it away.
I can start. I'm Kate. I play Neva, our half-dryad druid. I have like a half-baked character concept that I keep wanting to like bring to fruition in a game at some point, and it really only makes sense in a Scoot game, let's be honest. But I want to play a cleric character who is like a devout believer in their particular god, but like their actual power comes from a trickster god who thinks it's hilarious to make them think that they are actually a cleric of a different god. I
Are you
don't
actually a
know how to
warlock?
make it work mechanically, but like
Are
I
you
want
just
to
a
involve
warlock?
the trickster god giving them powers and somehow.
What about a warlock who's like
That's the
whatever
other
the
thing I
equivalent?
considered,
A
like a
warlock's like-
warlock who thinks that they've made a pact with like some a celestial, and instead it's with like somebody pretending to be a celestial.
I wasn't
What
really
if it's a
jo-
polyamorous warlock who like you have multiple
It's a
patrons?
very
or-
chill patron.
Yeah, like it's cool.
I also like to take a second. I have my own brand of game, like that is separate from like regular RPGs, tabletops, and it's a Scoot game. Because you're not the only
Scoot
folks
game.
that I run for, and certainly not the only folks who have said that. I feel like I should
It's so
trademark
true.
this.
It's so true.
I can go.
Excellent.
So my name is Randall, and I play Kiki, the Kenku Tinkerer. And I have a 3/4 baked idea for a character. I was toying with this idea. What's the smallest physical kind of like character I could play? And that would be like a sprite or a pixie, right? And so my character, her name's Iota, and she's based loosely off of Tinkerbell because she has a real attitude. But I basically created an entire family tree for her, like siblings, cousins. Like I know
That's
the
at
name of the
least
bar where she
90%
works.
baked.
Okay, maybe that. And she's a caster, but I haven't figured. I don't know what spell she would or something like that. So, yeah, pretty much that's Iota. I'd love to play a wee thing, but I'm not sure what to do with any treasure that she finds. So, some things to work out.
Tiny bag of holding.
Very small bag of holding.
I think she would have a mild obsession with gems because you can get high worth for like a relatively small volume. So I think that
Yeah.
might be a thing with.
Well, I'll go next, I suppose. Hello, I am Robert. I play Nikki, the human wizard. My alternate character is very nearly who I was playing for this campaign. Nicholas Doxborn, the gutter snipe wizard, was very nearly Nicholas Doxborn, the swashbuckling sailor. With almost the same backstory, except he worked on ships instead of working on docks. As a child, and it just kind of branched off from there. Yeah, very, very, very nearly played a swashbuckling rogue.
Nice.
I feel like Nick had one point where he was looking up from a morning newspaper going, I should buy a boat. And then this Nick went, no. And then went back to doing what he was doing. He went to magic school.
Yeah, totally accurate.
I'll go last then. I'm Deb. I'm playing Tessa, and I was actually going back and forth between playing Tessa and playing another character that I'd wanted to play. She's not a tiefling. She's actually a gorgon, and her name is Frizz, and she's like
Ha.
kind of skittish, and she's really nice, and but if she gets too flustered, she might accidentally turn people into stone. But she carries the antidote with her because that's pretty common. And
Polite thing to do.
each of her snakes has its own personality, and it wears like little hats. And yeah, I actually drew a picture of her a long time ago.
I love the hats.
So she actually works right now in Haven at a shop called Literally Just Snakes. And that's where she currently resides.
What do they sell, Deb?
Well, they sell snake and snake-based accessories.
What a
And she also
surprise.
teaches a class for druids on how to speak snake. And proper snake culture.
Snakes on the material plane. Like, there's nothing you can do with it.
I feel like one of these days when I need more time to make something up, I'm just gonna be like, we're having an AU session, prep these people, and we'll go. Like, fuck it. But thank you, everyone. But now, folks, we will head back to Ryam, and we come to the Quellback estate, as this is where everyone has agreed to meet as business in Storm's Ire, where Roscoe that's their seat of power, is a bit up in arms. There recently was a tire fire. Some worshippers of Tyre came and accidentally set part of the city on fire, so they're sort of reconstructing and dealing with that. I can feel the hate, and I know how Kate now gains power. This is good.
Intoxicating.
Intoxicating.
Was it at all Nikki's fault?
No, surprisingly, you were on your
Okay.
estate at the time, because surprisingly, Nikki, you're the folks that are like run your estate and are there. As it's not huge, but there are just a lot of outlying families and properties that you're overseeing. There's some mines, there's farms, and everyone seems, despite you coming from like almost halfway across the planet, really fucking stoked that you're not these other people, and we're just happy to see you. And we're just like, yes, maybe not a shitbird, because the other ones were confirmed shitbirds, and you're like, it's
unknown shitbird.
Shitbird, but probably isn't worse. Could probably be better though. So you've had a very lovely time.
Awesome.
Speaking of birds, Kiki didn't have anything to do with the fire, did she?
Nope.
I know she wouldn't have intentionally. Okay, good.
I rolled the fate dice, and Kiki, these are only the worshippers of Tyre. It was an unfortunate accident.
At some point, can I
part of the city?
Okay, could be worse. At some point, could I get from you like a dossier of whoever's on my land, or at least like if you want me to fill it out, like the scale that I should be filling out too?
A couple things in the noodle that we'll go over when everyone assembles. So we will begin our day with you, Nikki, kind of rising in the morning, because this is the day your friends are earmarked to return from their various vacations and other places, and it's finally the time you have to like rip Kiki out of the Kiki shed that she's been spending a lot of her time in, and like you can't. You might have other things to do. So up here in the peaks, you do have what is functionally a seneschal, but it doesn't have as fancy of a name. And also, seneschal is a term that the occupying Doshnaral tieflings use, so they don't much care for that. So you have
a bit charge.
Yeah, so you have what is referred to as a keeper. Same kind of thing. It's sort of like your Alfred, if you will. This one is a sort of portly halfling gentleman. Much older, kind of uses a cane to walk. Bit of a belly on him, kind of that classic line from Pippin talking about how he won't grow taller, but he will go, he'll grow rounder. This one has succeeded in this venture, but still kind of helps you with the day-to-day running of things, and has been since your long etc. relative had died. And he knocks on you, mistress, are you decent?
Come in.
he comes in, but he's like covering his eyes just in case as he's sort of walking with the cane. He is not
All right,
impaired, but he,
because I am
You
not.
might not be.
yeah. Are you dressed, madam? Your friends are should be arriving shortly. We've prepared some breakfast for them.
Fantastic. I will be dressed very shortly, and I'll be right down. Do you have any idea what's going on? Sorry, Kiki, are you experimenting like on my land? Do you have a shack here?
I think her shack would be on. I assume that Roscoe was our hostess, and so it would be on her land. But
Okay.
Kiki would either go to whatever sort of semi-abandoned shack was available, or
That would have
she
been better
assumed
off
was available.
on your lands, Nikki, because Roscoe is in the middle of a very large
Okay.
city, and they don't. These folks understand
okay.
what black powder is, and are not real keen on people. There's a place where it can be made, but like they're made by trusted associates, and Kiki tinkering with it does not make people very comfortable.
Kiki, how interested are you in mining? Are you interested enough to develop technology for it? If it's sufficiently interesting? Because Nikki, I had it in my head that she was spending some time working on making the mine magically safer and more productive.
Mm.
You know, utility spells, or like getting some ritual casts on the miners in the mornings. You know, amulets of I forget the word. It lets you breathe anywhere. It's the amulet of breathing anywhere. Whatever.
Not water breathing. Okay.
No, it's of anywhere breathing.
Earth breathing.
Whatever. Anyways,
Huff and dust.
if Kiki's interested in mining research for technology, that would be a fantastic place to go blow things up frequently.
So
Nothing
Kiki
happens
hears
with nothing
about
bad ever
making
happens with random explosions in a mine. Nope, not as
Nothing
this
bad
coal,
ever-
instead of coal
No.
miners' nose. Nope,
Never.
nothing bad ever comes of that.
Kiki hears about making something safer, and she starts to lose interest. I'm kidding.
Very
I'm
politely
kidding.
loses interest.
So I think all of it depends on how much progress she made on the puzzle box.
That is
If she
priority
made
one.
progress, but I mean, like, if she made progress, because it was 4 months.
So Kiki has
I
made some
think she would've
progress on that, and I will tell Randall what Kiki
Okay.
has made off screen, so you know. But
So she might be looking for a new kind of challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're sort of at this. You've got to the point where you can get to do a couple of things, but you're just sort of you get to the point where you're like, it's locked up. You've hit that sort of first brick wall in the game. Where you're like, I need to just step away from this for a while and just come back at it. But the keeper, he leads Nikki down to a decent spread. Definitely kind of tavern plus.
Nice.
As he shows. It's like, oh yes, the cook certainly did their best.
Went all out.
Yeah. Well, your friends are coming, and we know how important they are to you. You talk about them a lot. We were also told there's a very large tiefling woman coming, and you told us a lot how much you can eat. So we try to be ready. The cook does not enjoy people going away hungry.
You are going to love her, I promise.
Thank
you. This is incredible. As usual, you have outdone yourselves there.
Oh,
what is his name, Scoot?
Phyllis.
Phyllis. Okay.
Phyllis Waggerdagger.
Thank you, Phyllis. You have outdone yourself.
Phyllis Waggerdagger.
Of course it is. Info about the Northern Territories. My keepers
of the Northern Waggerdaggers.
Of the Northern
name
Waggerdaggers
is Phyllis Waggerdagger. Because, of course, it is. Thank you. Save.
So, who would like to arrive? As you who would like to arrive first? Okay, so through the door comes.
Okay, so Tessa kind of she is the door open or is it gonna like shut?
Yeah,
like,
so Nikki walks.
It's closed, and as you walk up, it opens dramatically.
I'm like, so Tessa walks in and she has Thrax and Bosco with her, and also on her shoulder is a black fox with white tipped tails.
Ooh.
And she she comes in and she sees Nikki and Kiki. She's like, Nikki, Kiki, and she runs up and she gives you both a big hug.
Full squee.
Kiki's super
Again,
excited that her honorary big sister's there.
careful not
She's very
to
happy.
careful with the hugs, because I have gotten stronger. And she starts like getting really excited and saying it's just great to be here and it's good to see you guys again. She's like, oh, I brought a new friend with me, and she points to the fox on her shoulder.
I kind of hold my hand out for it to sniff.
Sorry, I want to make sure that Neva arrives for this too. So you don't see Neva walk in, but you do see Pipit come in, like one of her birds, holding what looks like a very small letter.
Okay.
Does
I hold
someone
my-
want to take the letter?
I'll hold my finger out for Pipit to land on.
When you take the letter, it becomes a normal size that like a person could actually read, because like magic and shit.
Yeah.
Do you open the letter?
I open the
Because,
letter.
like magic and shit is probably our
If Neva had sent me a fucking howler to tell me to like eat my vegetables, I swear to God.
So you open the letter, and the letter says, "My very dear Gaffers, I'm sorry to be sending this letter rather than coming to you in person. The World Tree has called me to the Primal Valley with some urgency, and because of the pledge I've made to guard her branches, I have no choice but to go. I don't know how long I'll be gone, or where the tree will send me when my business in the Primal Valley is done. You are, all of you, among the most delightful and amusing companions I've ever traveled with. I have no doubt that you will each go on to do great things, individually and together. If you ever need me, reach out to the Spring Court via Haven. Tessa's family should be able to help you with that."
Tessa does look like she might cry a little bit.
Same.
So does Kiki, her beak's quivering. She's like, she leaving us? Left us?
Well, it says she doesn't know where she's going next. Maybe she'll turn up anyways.
Yeah, our
Pipit,
paths
how long
may
have you
cross.
been flying? I don't actually expect Pipit to necessarily be able to respond to me, but yeah.
Pippa just
I
kinda
mean,
hums
we have
by
someone
her.
who speaks Orin.
Yeah.
Pipit is the
she'll be
bird.
like, yeah, Kiki and Orin will be like, she okay? Okay?
So Pippa looks.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's good. She's doing things. Tree things? Leaf things. Leaf tree things.
Kiki nods sagely like she understands.
Um,
What this is. Yeah.
Pipit comes over and like bumps into like where your clavicle would be. Those leaf things. That leaf.
Mhm. Power leaf tattoo things. Mm.
Yes, skin leaf.
Kiki nods. And then he's like, she need help? She okay though? Need help? Help? Friends help?
Pipit makes a noise that you think is probably a laugh. Like, no. She is good help. He has
is good help.
big tree lizard friend. Tree lizard scale lizard tree.
Lizards that people like us ride? Like Gax?
Bigger.
Nikki and Tessa just
Big
kind of
beard.
look at each other blankly as
Spiky
Kiki and
beard.
Pipit are excitedly chattering.
Kiki will translate. Yeah, Kiki will translate. She's like, big lizard thing? Does she mean a
Does she mean a dragon?
Does
dragon?
big lizard thing
Tree lizard.
ring any bells
a
for
tree
me,
lizard.
Scoot?
Make a nature check. Anyone who would like to.
I'm going
Would
to make
like
a nature
to.
check with my
How do
0.
you
Oh,
know?
15. 15.
16.
15, 16. Kiki gets. Come on, Kiki, get a 17 or a 14.
Flush.
A
Ah,
9.
So you
A 9.
having
I'm not...
lived on Shantha a lot of your life, which is the continent the Primal Valley is on. The biggest lizard that would be a tree size there would, you know, that Tarasques live in the Primal Valley,
Ooh.
Ooh.
and that
Ooh.
might be what Pipit is talking
Randall was
about.
wondering. I don't know.
Does Pipit mean a Tarrasque?
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, good lord. Well, I mean, if that's helping
Yeah,
Neva, she's gonna be fine, I reckon.
Yeah, that's confusing, but I trust your judgment. I'm gonna miss her. Wow, that's disappointing. That's very sad.
Kiki asks, she's like, do you think she'll be long? Do you know? Long time? And then Kiki gestures like many sunsets. Like she gestures at the sky.
Pippin kind of like tilts his head back and forth a couple times. Not sure. She said learning.
Could be
Well.
any time there.
I'll go in over to the table and pour a couple of glasses of orange juice and hand them out and call a toast for absent companions, but hopefully not for too long.
Tessa does toast to Neva's good health and wishes her best on her journey. And she's kind of saying this out loud. She doesn't expect like that message to kind of get to her, but she's like, "Wish you well, Neva. Hope to see you soon."
Kiki's not used to toasting, so she just drinks her orange juice. But she will offer some to Pippet. I don't know if Pippet.
Pippin would be very excited. It's sugar fluid. Pippin's very excited.
What's not to love?
So she'll offer some. She'll offer some. to
Tessa
Pippet.
will also offer some to the fox on her shoulder as well.
I'll
Bosco looks very upset that no one's giving him
Oh.
sugar water.
Right.
I will
gave him
shake-
sugar water.
I'll shake Thrax's hand
too
and then I'll
healthy for
shake
Bosco,
Bosco's
isn't
paw and I'm gonna palm Bosco a biscuit.
There you go.
It drops. He doesn't have.
A lot of animal companions.
Yes, it is.
I look at him disappointedly.
He is
This is his fault.
with his little stubby arms because he's like sort of just hanging in Thrax's hands, like he's up here so he can see everything. Like up by his chest, he's just sort of like trying to get down, and Thrax just kind of puts him down. Yeah, but his little stubby legs, so he's like,
I'll mage hand it back up to him.
He eats it happily, and then he looks at you and is just like,
Did you just do that on command, Scoot?
yeah.
Well, color me impressed.
Mad skills.
There's mad DM skills that I have.
Get you a DM who can do both.
Oh,
Plot your demise and also.
Burp on
Burp
command.
On command. All right. Well.
so what have you been up to?
Well. Good lord, so much paperwork. I thought I could put the quill days behind me. Good lord.
Welcome to middle management, Nikki.
Yeah.
Oh, middle management, the worst.
Nikki kind of shakes it off. It's been good though, getting to know the area, the people. Has Phyllis introduced himself?
He would have come back now. Again, he moves
Okay,
slowly. He's an
sure.
old man.
Ah, Phyllis, Tessa, Thrask,
But
Thrax.
oh goodness.
Bosco.
Oh, hello. Hello, and he's
Everyone?
just going like he's
Hi.
This is
hung up to
the
you.
capable Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis. Nice to meet you.
Phyllis Waggledagger at your service, and he bows very low. Which is pretty low to you, Tessa, because he is a halfling, so he's like at your knee.
I'm not exactly sure what to do, so I kind of also bow to him.
Yeah, and he comes up and he's just sort of he comes up and he just all he sees is your boobs, and he's like, "Whoa, oh, I'm so sorry," and then he just sort of takes some steps back, and he's a little flustered, and he's like, "So, we've prepared a fine breakfast for you because I know how much your Lady Docksborn is sure, and to inform us how much you all enjoy eating and breakfast foods. So please sit. The cook will be furious if you go away hungry."
Oh, a brunch. That's amazing. Thank you.
Can my cook do doshnesses?
Yeah, you are on the borderlands of Doshinral, so they have
Excellent.
doshnesses.
Excellent. So I've got a whole plate set aside just for Tessa.
Okay, so yeah, she's definitely gonna dip into those. Tessa's gonna sit down and she's gonna grab some food and she's gonna make a little plate of bacon for the fox, and the fox is just gonna like nibble on the bacon as we go.
Well, yeah, mostly paperwork management. Actually, a lot of work in the mines. Mines are kind of fascinating, actually. There's this ore. She starts to ramble on a little bit about ore distribution, and then kind of catches herself.
Or
But-
distribution.
So the interesting thing that you found, Nikki, was that you have you figured it was a copper mine or something. It has a worthy material in there, But within the last
Okay.
few days, your miners have found what they did. They brought you this very shiny, light ore, which you know to be mithril. But like they have
Whoa.
no idea. Like they're not real. They know it's something. They don't know what it is though. But they have hit a vein of it.
Holy cannoli. Actually, I've got something to show you, but we'll get to that later. What have you guys been up to? How was the travels? How was the roads?
Oh, for us, it was good. We went back back to Omball for a little while. Met my parents. Met the family. Did a lot of brunches. We celebrated Alora's Day. We went to Anshin for a little while, and then we came back here.
There's a moment
Nice.
as Tessa says brunches where Thrax just kind of looks down and has this 1,000-yard stare as he stares at the food. He was like, "There was so much. They wouldn't stop feeding me." And Thrax looks like he's put on like a pound or two of like kind of chunk because he'd just been
Thrax,
feeding him.
in my house, you can eat as little as you wish.
Okay, I'm not used to eating like it. It was fun at first, and then it got competitive, and I was not prepared.
Oh yeah, my family does get competitive when it comes to the food.
Yeah.
My uncles are kind of the worst. And you can't let the food
I'm
go
curious.
to waste, right?
There's so much of it.
So, did
And her-
Tessa bring Thrax's like official boyfriend to like introduce to the family, or was it like
Yes.
this is oh
Ooh,
Yeah, so
my
there was-
bad.
It was a meet the parents moment.
ooh
So this wasn't just normal, like Aloran family uncle shenanigans. This was intimidate Tessa's new boyfriend.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
Aloran uncle shenanigans.
Yes, some of them definitely did. Her uncle Balinor really takes a lot of pleasure in that, at least for the first day or two. And he's a very big deal in the city. So it was one of those, like, welcome to the family, we're not going to give you a hard time. I will banish you to the hells, though, just so you know. Just kidding, but seriously, I'll do it, and I can.
Yeah, I mean, there's like mom and dad, and then there's the extended family, which is all the crazy people.
Yeah, Thrax is like, her cousin Sophie
Crazy-er.
just doesn't wear clothing, like, to be very honest with you. Like,
Ooh.
Yeah,
Only Nikki had been there.
that happens.
Nikki kind of perks up. Ooh.
You notice that Thrax has put Bosco in his own chair, and he's like up on the table, just very politely eating. It looks like he's a little less rambunctious than he was prior to going to WtR. It looks like he's gotten some level of
Oh.
training. Speaking of
Impressive.
corgis, here comes Debs.
Oh no!
Everybody wear
don't
China.
you-
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but
It's
he's
the puppy.
eating slowly, and it looks like he got a little bit of training down there. A little bit, because then after he's good for a while, and then he hits the bacon, he just starts going at it, going ham.
It devolves. The
Yeah,
real
devolves
question is, does Bosco have a bib on? Because like I'm here for
He has
Bosco in a
bandana.
bib.
He does
But
have
maybe
a
he used the
bandana.
bandana
though.
Okay.
as a bib.
Yeah,
Is it his eating bandana?
That's
or is
eating
this is
bandana.
eating bandana.
It's got little strips of bacon on it.
Yeah, it's also a darker color, so it doesn't show the stains of food as easily.
So Kiki's been listening and just shoving food in her mouth because she's forgotten to eat for like the past day and a half because she's been so absorbed in her experiments. But she'll like listen and nod as she's like shoveling food in. And then when there's a time for her to speak, she'll hold up the puzzle box and she'll like nod very excitedly, like she made progress. And then she'll
Ooh.
reach the point where she hit the new wall with it. And you've probably never seen Kiki mad. And she starts literally squawking. She's like she's not actually making a comment or anything. She's like
Just like grackle
shaking the box
noises.
and,
Like two crows fighting
pounding
over
it
a
on
hot
the
dog in New York.
table.
Yeah.
Yeah, like absolutely pounding it on. She's gesturing. She's showing you her notes about how she's trying to get to the third level with the puzzle box, and then she just puts it down.
She
like
walks
you
over to the
discussed.
side of the room, pulls back a curtain, and she has a Charlie board from Always Sunny, and there's just strings going everywhere. And like various arcane
And she
symbols.
does have that
yeah.
wild. She's got that wild look in her eyes, like I'm so close. I'm so close. So
Aw,
that's
Kiki, I'm sure
how
you'll
Kiki's
figure it
been
out. You're like the smartest person ever.
stuff. Oh, she kind of like she's mollified.
And WtR wasn't built in a day, gonna take some time.
Kiki now starts thinking about how could someone actually build a city in a day. And
Magic?
so now she's there. You go. She's like
A lot of magic.
A ton of mold earth.
A lot, yeah. A lot of wizards doing a lot of mold earth.
Yeah, a lot of wizards.
Holy
cow.
So you again, the meal comes at some point. The cook, who is, I don't know if I'm. Do you folks? So it is an Arakoa, comes out. But do you folks remember the Disney Robin Hood with the animals?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the lady in waiting that was hanging out with Maid Marian, the chicken lady?
The chicken lady, yeah.
Yeah, she's got that kind of a vibe. Like, she's not as rotund, obviously, but
Is she sassy?
She is sassy. She's coming out, and she's just like, she's speaking Orin to Kiki, because she's sort of chiding Kiki, like, very Neva style, for like, you have not been eating, I have been keeping track, young lady.
Oh, good
Kiki
lord.
is just sort of like making noises and looking down because she's only used to Neva, like mom chastising her. So she's kind of looking at as this cook is like the substitute Neva, but no one comes close.
Yeah, so she does
Like,
plop down whatever Kiki's like most favorite type of food would be. She's clearly made. She's taking her opportunity to put food on you, put food in you, on you and in you, I guess, depending how you look at it.
Okay. Kiki will dutifully eat.
Dutifully eat. Actually, I would need Nikki, if you can, make me an Arcana check.
I sure can.
Arcana check. Wow.
I've got the big plus for that one. Did my studying. Non-natural 20.
So you're looking at your friends.
Eldritch 20.
You're looking at your friends, and there's it's good to have the tieflings back, and Roscoe will eventually rejoin you. But
I'm sure she was tied up on business in the city.
Yeah. You're looking though at. You don't remember Tessa having a fox at any point though. This is a new addition, and you're not sure if this is like. Is this a pet that now, like, did Tessa want a pet? Because Thrax had a... Is this, like, a couple thing they're doing now? Are they, like, doing that thing where couples will prep for children by getting various animals? Like, you don't know. But the fox is magic. Mostly because it's not a color a fox should be, and certainly it's not indigenous around here, and it has multiple tails.
Well, that's a pretty good clue.
Yeah.
No, it only has one scoot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was only one tail.
Sorry, I thought you said tails. So there's one tail, but again, the coloring is... not there's no breed of fox that is this color to your knowledge, and it is giving off a magical vibe.
Oh. So Tessa, what's the story on the new pet?
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been so incredibly rude.
We got a little distracted. It's all right.
We got a little distracted. You know how I get. This is my friend Allie. Allie, why don't you say hi?
The fox is in the middle of eating some bacon, but decides it should probably stop eating some bacon. And is suddenly not a fox anymore. Instead, she is a very dark-skinned, like blue-black-skinned tiefling, with some very odd-looking, like white silvery tattoos on her forearms, curling ram's horns, and still only one foxtail. That's still in effect currently, Scoot. And she says, "Hi. I'm her cousin."
Well, hello.
I thought we were going to
pleasure
keep
to
that up
meet you.
longer, Tessa.
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit.
I thought we were going to keep that up longer. Besides, there's a Mundle Bacon.
Well, I don't know. I figured you wanted to meet the folks.
I mean, they're pretty cool folks. Hi, folks. You're pretty cool.
Well, thank you.
Oh, wait, shit. All right, hold on a second. She, like, looks like she palms something from her waist, flips it over, puts it back in, and she now has 4 tails, not 1. She continues eating the bacon anyway.
Was there a, like... Did it, like, visually, like, split into tails, or did more, like, grow out, or did I just blink and suddenly there's always been 4
There's
tails?
4 tails now.
We've always been at war with 1 tail.
Ellie does notice the look on your face, and laughs a little bit. As you might have noticed, I'm not entirely a tiefling. I'm her cousin by Am I your cousin by marriage, Tessa? Is that how that works?
I mean, our families are just really close, so it's like one of those things where like we're all cousins.
It counts. I'm part Kitsune, hence the tails.
Ah, that is fascinating. Allie, in what I hope is the least rude way possible, I would love to study how you do that.
Allie, like, slowly looks you up and down in a very interested kind of way and says, I'd be happy to show you sometime.
Tessa kind of snickers at that.
Nikki winks at who gets the wink? Probably Tessa. Like, I know what I was doing. It was look. It was a double entendre, yes, but also single.
And I did post our season 2 chibi graphic as well.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Kiki
And I
will just
canceled it.
sit. Oh, Kiki will say hi to the newcomers, just sort of like hi, and she'll kind of look after the transformation, and then she'll just shrug, and she'll go back to eating.
Like we've all
She's
seen
never
some weird
seen any.
shit.
Yeah, like she's like.
He's like, whatever.
Weird shit.
You didn't grow wings, whatever, I don't give a shit. But just to be clear, and so you know, Tessa had this idea, and we don't have to do it, but I'm currently doing some journeyman work for my monastery, and just wanted to. I'm at the point where I'm supposed to be traveling for the next. I think I have another year to travel at this point. She mentioned that you guys were doing a good bit of expeditioning. If you're up for having me tag along, I'm happy to help. If not, I can go set off again. It's not a problem.
So I guess Kiki will be like, assume she's a monk from the monastery, but she won't. She probably won't bring it up verbally. She'll just like nod.
Sorry, I was distracted by the picture that Deb posted. Were you looking for somewhere to stay, or just talking about?
We lost Randall.
Oh, bye, Randall. We'll miss you.
No, so Allie was talking about like traveling with you guys on adventures and expeditions and such.
Got it. Yeah. If you're cool with Tessa, you're cool with us, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know, Tessa, am I cool with you?
Absolutely. Allie's kind of the best, and she's already like you've done like what, like a year of traveling now, so you've probably seen some really cool things.
Yeah, I've been mostly. I'm remembering the map right, Scoot. I've been mostly east of here, right?
Yes, you've been east in like Thunderblade.
Yeah, I've done a whole bunch of roaming. You know, went through the Falklands, was in Musa for a bit. We got down to Ventos at one point.
Did?
Yeah.
What were you doing down in Ventos?
Do you need
a lot of
something? Yeah.
Sorry.
More like who you were doing
Yeah.
it.
Do you need something or do you have something?
Say it out loud.
Yeah.
Because if Tessa does, then Allie will absolutely laugh and toast her.
No, yeah,
I was honestly traveling as well. I wasn't just doing these. No, so there's a whole thing with like the whole monk path. You're supposed to do, you know, you do certain like kind of cross-cultural experiences. So I was up in Haven for a bit. Then you go back to the school for a while and you follow your particular path. And then you're supposed to spend 2 years basically, I think they called it experiential learning, like basically going out and finding things that call to you and give you purpose. And I haven't found it yet, so I got another year.
I've heard that spiel.
Oh, are you a student?
Not of the same sort as you. I went to the University of Phoenix's actually in Ventos.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it was tremendously fun there.
Oh, fantastic! Did you get a chance to try any air wine?
She probably would have.
She probably would have. Oh, it's the best. Well, welcome.
I did
welcome.
also, Tessa mentioned that you guys got to visit the Von Lyken estate.
Yeah, that was actually kind of our first big thing together.
Definitely some big things there.
Nikki kind of squints at Allie.
You can't tell if she means it that way or not. If you do an insight check, I'll let you know if you think she means it that way or not.
I would like to do an insight check if that's all right.
I thought there were dick jokes before.
Another Eldritch 20.
Goot, I have one character round. This is her. She absolutely means it that way.
Okay, you know.
Yeah, you may have also noticed like Tessa's snickering too.
All the innuendo or double entendres they're completely going over.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of innuendo and a lot of puns.
Yep. Puns are common to all of my characters. Innuendos are going to be a little unique to Allie because I've played like mostly characters who don't care much about sex so far. Allie is my
Really
one
have.
part of all the fun character.
So you continue eating, kind of making small talk. Allie, you were talking with Nikki about all the sort of the landmarks or trademarks, as they call them down in Ventos, because you spent some time with the Lombard family, who are because of that gentleman you were hanging out with for a while and your other friend, Kai. Nikki, when you hear her say Lombard, that is the most powerful trade lord family in the city. They don't run it necessarily, but they own the most everything. Mostly due to this insane admiral that they work with, who has like 2 flying ships, and is like
I have 3 now.
3 flying ships. I'm sorry.
How dare you, Scooter?
3 flying ships, 8 fleet of like just regular boats. Like, and that has made the matriarch of this family, Belladonna, quite wealthy and very powerful. So like you know that name almost instantaneously, and it is also a good name because Lady Belladonna Lombard has been very kind to the city compared to some of the other trade lords. Like, she does do a lot of philanthropy, and most of you on the docks would know that like part of this is to, if you keep regular folks happy, they don't tend to rat on you to people, and they don't tend to mess with you, and they'll sort of protect you. So some of that is that, and some of it is like genuine, like I'm good. I want to generally help people and see people in this city be better off than, living little gutter snipes like you were for a very long time.
The funny thing is, knowing that she's doing it in part to keep from being snitched on doesn't make it any less effective.
No.
She's shrewd.
Yeah, but you under, like, as Allie's talking about these places, you may not have been there, but you definitely know of them.
I've probably like gone to bars with some of their like low tier servants or whatever.
Yeah,
you probably would have seen the ships too in the dock.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you would have seen the at the time. At one point, there was just 2 of them, and they would have flown in. You would also know that one of them, the main one, by the admiral's, flown by what some folks call the Dragon Lady. She's a tiefling that just becomes sort of draconic in different ways.
Ooh.
And then there's the what they call the fast boat, which is run by 2 rabbit folk, which is a real sight to see. And they just have these cooks on the boats that are otter folk that make very good food, but are very eccentric. So
Allie is absolutely telling stories about the various eccentricities of Larry the Otter. Look,
Larry.
I'm sorry, Larry the what? No, Larry. What his full title, please? He earned that.
I'm sorry, Larry the Wellerman.
Sexiest otter.
Larry, the world's sexiest otter. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were using his nickname from the sea shanties.
No, not no. But time goes on, and you're all there. But eventually, Nikki, what is referred to as your warden, who is your sort of like head of security, comes. This is a large Goliath woman, and she probably looks pretty grim. So this isn't like her name. Is referred to as Lock, like a lock for a door.
CH or CK? Okay.
LOCK. And you know that Lock wasn't like a prefect or anything like from Storm's Ire. Locke and her crew are basically ex-mercs that just got tired of being mercs and like living.
Bought the proverbial farm.
Yeah, and are just like, hey, I bet we could run a security gig which will be much better pay and much less of us dying all the time, with like fighting in wars of the kind of the skirmishes that'll happen up in the upper peaks. So they're like they found you and they just sort of started working for you. These are your functional guards. But she comes to you not looking a little bit more grim than usual. She's always a very serious woman, and she's very good at her job and takes it seriously. And she goes,
Block, what's up?
You have additional visitors, my lady.
Yeah?
Yeah, your relatives have finally come.
Oh.
The goddamn Saxville Bagginses.
They're absolutely the Saxville Bagginses.
Oh my god, that's so fucking
But
spot
also,
on.
Nikki's never met her relatives, has she?
They have never shown
No.
up before.
But now she's got wealth, so they show up. So you're absolutely right, Deb. 100%.
Yeah.
That was like immediately. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
Oh my god.
they're gonna steal the silverware.
I'm assuming you don't like your relatives by that reaction.
I have not met them, but my distant grandmother chose to deed this land to me, a woman that she had never met in her entire life and wasn't even sure existed, rather than deed it to any of them.
Oof. Big oof.
Right, so this is a really great time to have, a particularly large tiefling standing next to you, I'm guessing. And she looks over at Tessa.
I can do that thing
I'm
like,
glad
I
you
got
guys
you.
are here.
I like you keeping bacon.
Intimidating.
Block, how far out are
Kiki
they?
tries to look intimidating with her 5 foot and
She
change.
puffs
tries
up her
to-
feathers.
so
to make it look as big as possible.
She stands up on her toes a little bit.
She's intimidating on a whole nother level.
She actually is, but she's like if you don't know, you don't.
Allie's
What'd you
kind of
do?
Allie's like sitting kind of at the table in like that looks totally relaxed kind of way, but like if you ever seen like a fighter on alert, that's Allie. She's just eating bacon while she does it. So like she's conveniently positioned herself in such a way that she could get up very quickly and be wherever she needed to be, but she just looks like she's relaxed and eating bacon. Bacon.
I take note of that and approve.
Are we good? And so Locke will look at you, sort of looks down at a list and goes, were we expecting a tiefling cosplayer? I don't know what.
Like, Tessa?
Tiefling
That's not cosplay. She's really a
And
paladin.
Locke just sort of very casually like nods to Allie like, this person was not on the list, so I am now concerned because this person was not on the list.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
fair.
Tessa vouch for her. She's all right.
Yeah, she's cool. Hi, person.
Yeah, sorry, Melody. Rem saw them on the road and he came back, so they will be here soon. Rem's been tracking them for a while. They're being very loud, and they are already fighting about something. Rem is in the...
I would love to say I'm excited to see them, but that's not true. How far out are they, Locke? Also, Scoot, who's Rem?
She tells you Rem can tell you he's in the parlor.
Who's Rem?
Rem is one of her subordinates, one of your staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will kind of nod to Tessa and Ali and Kiki. Gonna go deal with this, maybe. I'll be back in a second.
Maybe.
Yeah, let us know if you need help. I
Head
can
out
always
to the-
stand in the background with my arms crossed and give them the glare.
Well, I'm definitely gonna need some glaring if this goes how I expect it
You
to,
just
but
let me know.
hopefully it's a minute.
Kiki stands beside Tessa. And
Oh my
tries
gosh!
to- tries to
I
mirror
hit my
her.
wrist and think really hard. Can you guys hear this? Through the slap chat.
Everyone but Allie can.
Can we say that like I picked one up for her and tuned it into the radio station?
Sure, if you'd like.
I think that would just make things easier.
Oh, it has been an annoyingly long time since these came in handy. Okay, I go out to the parlor and
So you
nod
see
to Rem.
Rem. Rem is what is referred to as a wolf folk. So it's sort of a bipedal lichen, but not a werewolf. This is a different being, sort of an upright walking wolf. And he does a quick bow. You see that one of Rem's eyes has got a large scar over it, and the left one's a little glassy. Can still use it, but it looks like he was in a fight a while ago. He informed you he was a part of he was in the War of the Prophecy that happened down south. And Rem is a very good tracker for Locke. And he nods. I'm sorry.
Good to see you, Rem. How far out are they?
About an hour or so from here. They're not moving. They are slow and loud and fighting about you, I think.
Fantasy Christ. Okay.
Fantasy Jesus.
What do you think are the odds that we can convince them we're not here?
Not.
Yeah,
very,
I didn't think
my lady.
so.
They are pretty determined to see you here, and we have folks coming in to bring in grains to be stored in the silo, so they're going to know you're here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. You want us? Maybe we kill them, or
they haven't done anything strictly wrong to me yet. How
accidents
how
happen
frequently
on the road.
have you had to deal with them in the past?
They'd come around
Before I moved in.
Right, they would come around knocking every now and again when your relative lived here, but after she died, the old lady of the manor, they started sizing the place up until that lawyer guy told them to fuck off. They didn't come around for a while, mostly because he's before we figured out you were here, we had orders to. Locke said remove him, but Locke told me not to use arrows, so I didn't. I wanted to, I really did, but I couldn't. But now that you're here and you've been here for a while, it's really up to you what you want us to do. If you want us to not let him in, well, we work for you.
Well, as tempting as it is to just kill them and be done with it, it's not very liege-like, I suppose. We'll let them say their piece.
Right.
I'd say it could be very liege-like. It just depends on who the liege is.
I mean, hey, fair point. Let's just say don't put that crossbow too far out of hand, though.
Yeah, I'll go round up the rest of the crew. Locke will stay here.
Sounds like a plan.
And
good stuff, Ram. Good looking out.
he nods to you, and he moves out, but like he is, he's moving, but his foot pads are so fucking quiet. Like you would, if you weren't paying attention to him, you don't know if you would notice him leaving.
Okay, I'll head back into the dining room and be like, all right, what is probably the shittiest relatives I have? It's still weird that I have relatives at all. Whatever. They're going to be here in like an hour. If you don't want to deal with them, I'm sure.
Mean, we can run interference for you if you want. If you don't want to deal with it,
I kind of think we'll let them get here sooner rather than later. Let them say their piece and then tell them to fuck off. Probably.
So you're opposed to killing them, which I get. That's very moral.
I haven't done anything directly wrong to me yet.
What are your thoughts on embarrassing, humiliating, or otherwise removing their position of power in some capacity? Reducing their sense of dignity.
I wouldn't open with it. I'll let them take the first dick move.
No, I wasn't talking about anything overt or anything that could be attributed to you, of course.
Go on.
Tessa,
I'm listening.
Tessa, you know what Eben and I get up to. Deb?
Well, I'm sorry.
Tessa's very lost, and Thrax is bent over to pick something up, and she's very lost.
Tessa, do you remember the time that Eben and I the dye thing with my dad's fur?
I'm
thinking something in that vein, something that just like makes them feel disrupted.
Oh, you want to do a prank? Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm not thinking of hurting anybody. Nikki, my brother and I are rather famous for our pranks. I'm
Listening.
I'm in a bit of a tough spot because I'm more of our ideas person, and he works with the dwarves. He's an artisan. He's a craftsman. He does the crafting of the things. But I've got a couple ideas that could help out. If you've got somebody who can make things quickly.
All eyes turn to Kiki.
Time to shine.
Kiki
God,
was
no,
already
actually,
like,
I did not consider this until this moment, but oh my God, Allie and Kiki are going to have so much fun with pranks.
when Kiki heard Allie say, "Well, not to hurt them," she just started putting one of her bombs away. Like she was already like, "Assets go kaboom." She was like,
So I'm thinking things like, I don't know, fur changing color. Wait, you're humans, you don't do fur things.
Hair. You could do hair.
Fur changing color.
They don't have
skin
fur. They
changing
may
color.
do fur. It's a fine line depending on what your conditions are.
Clothing being altered. Again, I'm not
being
thinking
very
anything
literal.
like.
She's like, so far you've just described her cosmetology and tailoring. She's like, change their hair color, alter their clothing, and she's like nodding, like she's like, okay.
So, right, look, so these relatives of yours, they're coming here because they think they have some ground to, take this property from you, right? So they're full of like this, I don't know, righteous fury and indignation. They feel that they have the upper hand or solid ground to stand on. And what if we just make them feel foolish before they even enter your door?
Kiki was thinking back to the stink bomb that she made but never used, the one that was to smell all like mammalian and musky. So she's now picking up a little bit. She's like, all right,
Things that make them feel embarrassed or like maybe they aren't in as strong of a negotiating position. Anything that makes them feel undignified or
The subtle approach.
mess with their own sense of again, nothing harmful, but just things that mess with their own sense of confidence and therefore puncture all their arguments before they make them.
We could just punch them.
We could, but you're not wrong.
Kiki sort of walks up to Allie and puts her hand on her arm a little bit, and she's like, "You're new," and she's like, "Gaffers don't do subtle." She's trying. She's really trying. She's not opposed to subtle, but she's thinking about all our past adventures, and she's like,
That is an accurate assessment of us.
What are you thinking?
So we did find those, like, remember all the itching powder and the things we found and stuff like that. So Kiki did find those and take a look at them. So she's starting to generate some ideas. So she'll remind the crew about, like, we found like the itching powder and like exploding ink and stuff like that. Kiki's very familiar with ink, so she doesn't know that. But Kiki will basically ask is like, do you want it attributable, or you don't care? Like, in other words, like, does it need to be an accident, or like, we don't like you, we don't know how you look, we don't look how you smell, get the fuck out? Like, that's where Kiki's at.
I mean, if you do want this to be a little bit more subtle, again, no offense to your more direct methods, which are also entirely fine. But if you want them to not be able to attribute it to you, well, I can look rather less. She gestures to herself than I do currently, and who would think it all that odd to encounter a fox running around in the woods on their way up to a house? Maybe I spill something as I run past them.
Kiki look at her, and she's like, Kiki's like, okay to ask, only fox? Only fox shape?
Yes, only fox. Sorry,
okay.
Not a druid. I can do foxes, and that's it, really. I mean, I can do. All right, so let's see. I can do foxes. I can trip them up with plants. I don't think that's terribly helpful. They can
Kiki
get
was
shiny,
wondering
but I don't think shiny is helpful here either.
Kiki was wondering if you could become a skunk and then she could give you a stink bomb. That's where she was going. So Kiki will actually look to Nikki because she's sort of like, it's your relatives and your call. Like, she's looking for like, is this the route you want us to go this route? Like,
So anything? Okay, how about this? Anything subtle? More Allie's ideas. Let's start with the more overt stuff. We'll let them make the first dick move, and then teach them not to fuck with us.
Kiki gives a thumbs up. So we just come up with something, but hold it in reserve is what I hear.
Yeah. Let's be ready to.
I mean, if we do want to do the like, I don't know, Scoot, are they traveling by like wagon, carriage?
They're in a carriage, but they're moving at a very leisurely pace. That's what Rem said. Like they'll be here in they will be at this house in roughly an hour. He just moves
So if
much
you wanted
faster.
Allie to like toss a stink bomb in there and run away, like that's a thing she could do on the road to them. Like she can get to the road quite quickly. She can get away from places quite quickly, and her stealth is really good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so Kiki's back to like, are we doing preemptive? Like to throw them off, and
So
that's where she's like, she's fine either way. She's just looking to Nikki because she
Nikki
likes Allie,
is
but
looking
she's
like-
the new kid on the block.
You know, so Allie is absolutely deferring to you guys on this.
Nikki looks the kind of thoughtful, like someone who's not totally used to having to think about the thing they're thinking about. And she's like, I love that, but if they're here to cause a ruckus about me, could you do it in a way where it's not... How subtle can we get? Could they tell that it was a stink bomb even if they couldn't tell where it came from? I feel like they could use that against me. Oh, you're not policing good enough for, you know.
Can you make it smell like a skunk?
Could do.
I mean, Kiki can try. Like, basically, Scoot as the DM can set whatever challenge rating he wants. And no, I mean, as a tinkerer, and then Kiki rolls for it. So, you know, yeah, basically, like she can make like it's a standard thing for tinkerers. You can make like an explosive toy and crap like that. So I don't think a stink bomb is a huge
No, that will
lift.
not be with.
You can actually make one in
like-
your kitchen. It's not that hard.
Yeah, small prank things like that, Kiki, you will be able to whip up. It's just like if you want a stink bomb, light throw, 10 minutes, you got that. If you're trying to make something that's a little more, like if you're trying to make a like Rube Goldberg machine to happen, that'll take some doing, which you could pull together, but you know that would take time and effort to put things together.
Yeah, don't ever say Rube Goldberg in front of Kiki because she will immediately latch on to that like no one's business. So Kiki's like, yeah, can try. She
Go for it.
Yeah, okay.
I could use thaumaturgy. I'm trying to think of how Ellie could do this potentially. Like I could thaumaturgy and okay, we've got the timer on. I could thaumaturgy a noise towards like the front of the carriage, flip it in the back of the carriage, so that it's like going off.
Kiki also has minor illusion if you wanted something to like block the road for a second, like a
Well, so what might even be better than minor illusion is if Allie makes a noise thaumaturgy at the front, so they all look forward. She slips the stink bomb in, and as they're all turning to look back at the terrible smell, you minor illusion a skunk running away.
okay. All right. So
What
again,
bad luck.
preemptive skeevy relative attack plan alpha is
So
I
are
guess
you?
as a go.
You folks are doing okay. So who is? So Aaliyah and Kiki are
As long
heading
as Nikki is okay.
I'm on board.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
then Allie and Kiki are doing this, I guess.
Yep. So you two head out. I need stealth checks from the both of you, please.
Tessa's gonna stay with Nikki. She knows better.
Nikki appreciates this.
27.
It's like I'm gonna do what I do best. Look mean.
I get 27. Kiki gets a 24. Okay, you
Sneaky
You-
motherfucker.
you think you are stealthed. So you head out and you see a very nice carriage coming up. It's not the nicest. I mean, Ellie, you've been around like functional royalty and actual royalty, especially with your dad being the steward of a city. So you're it's like if you have a BMW, but it's definitely like a bit of an older model, like significantly older. Not like a classic, but like, oh, they got it on the cheap. But they still wanted something nice. So you can hear them. It's 3 voices, 1 woman and 2 males, and they are just having like a scream fight. As you see these poor put upon, like this driver that just looks like he hates his life, and these couple of like coachmen that are just like, I hate my life. This is not worth like my job. Like,
What are they? What is the argument?
make a perception check, please.
So I did keep one thing consistent across my characters. 31, Scoot.
At least you rolled a 19 on that one. Yeah, so as you're kind of coming up and you keep pace with them, although they're being very loud, you can hear that they're arguing about who's going to talk to Nikki, what their sort of plan of attack is. Are they going to try to make a claim on the land now? One of them is talking about, no, like we should get to know this person first so we can find their weakness and exploit them. It's a lot of like, they're not talking about like, they don't want to murder Nikki, right? They don't want to kill her. They just want her to not have anything nice anymore.
Okay, so a step above.
Yeah, like they don't want her head. They just want her to be poor, so they can be rich. It's very like stepsister, evil grandmothery type nonsense. Evil stepmother, stepsisters, Cinderella nonsense.
They have aspirations to be new money. Got it.
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So I guess we're doing the plan, the thaumaturgy, bomb, minor illusion.
Okay, so
So at this point, Allie's movement speed is 45. And if we count as an action, I can double move and I can go super fast. So I'm thinking I'm just duck in, drop the bomb, duck out.
all right. Make me a sleight of hand check. Are you a fox at the moment?
I was assuming that if I am putting a bomb in places, I'm gonna need hands.
Yep.
Unless you're telling me the fox can put the bomb places, in which case then I'd be a fox.
No, you're gonna have
Kiki's
to have
bombs
hands.
need to be
Yeah.
wound.
They're tinkery.
Okay.
It's like a bonus action.
So make me
That's why
another.
she can't.
Make me another stealth check.
Oh shit. Well, good thing I have luck. 1d20 plus that. No, not 1d29. 22.
Okay. At this point, you see one of the back coachmen sees you begin to dart for the cart, and he's looking. He's not very sure what you're doing because you're just running out, right? The bomb is not that big; it's in your hand. You've palmed it, so it's not visible. But you see him looking at you as if he's clocked you, like he sees you.
I'm gonna thaumaturgy. So there's gonna be like a loud like bang in the front of the cart, like something has fallen off.
Okay, you do that, and
Does he look away?
he does, but he's everyone's very surprised by what's happening.
Like, are they paying attention up there enough that I can still sleight of hand it in, or no?
So the guy in the back, he's looking forward to see like if what has happened. So you can try. It's just going to be harder because he's seen you.
Through the slap chat, I'll ask Kiki to still go for it.
Yes.
Do
Go
it,
for
nerd. Sleight of hand check,
Going
please.
loud.
19.
Okay, so let's see.
Oh wait, do I get a? No, I don't. Never mind.
Okay, so you do it, you throw, and you're just bolting away.
Sweet.
Kiki will
That
keep
means
casting
minor.
minor
As I'm running away through the Snapchat, I'm yelling, "Minor illusion! Minor illusion!"
So Kiki will do a minor illusion of a skunk in the middle of the road, kind of like a chunky skunk,
Waggling.
like waggling very happily away. Like
Yeah, so you see that most of them, from where you are in the woods, there's a moment where it's, the people inside are like, oh, and they get out of the car, they get out of their carriage, and they're just screaming, what is that? And Kiki, I'm sure you make the skunk go, like, into the woods. It doesn't just disappear in the middle of the road, because that would kind of be a giveaway. And they're like, get after it! And the guy in the back is just like, ugh. And he gets down, and he's just looking... The guy in the back looks... As he's going off towards the skunk, he is looking back at the way Allie ran into the woods, though. No one else seems to have noticed. It's just him.
Okay. Still in the woods.
Still in the woods. Nikki, they come a little later than you would expect, but eventually Locke does come to you. More or less as Allie and Kiki slip in through like a back door and rejoin Tessa and Thrax.
Allie's going into box form.
Locke would tell you that they have arrived and they look particularly upset by something.
Can we smell it?
Yeah,
rotten?
you can smell. You can smell.
maybe you all want to freshen up a little bit after your travels.
Oh
There
yeah.
I slap chat Kiki. That's authentic. Good job.
Kiki does. She does whatever Slapchat version of emoji is possible. Where like you might probably like teehee.
Skunk emoji.
Yeah, skunk emoji.
So two of them.
I think it's just touching the Snapchat and saying out loud, skunk emoji.
Skunk emoji.
So
Yeah, I'm not sure Kiki gets how this works.
So two of them, Nikki, Dana and Brush, are now like at like a trough trying to wash off. But another one, Chemnus, which is one of the gentlemen, comes up to you and he doesn't smell.
Okay.
And he goes, Lady Doxford, and he bows to you very. Hello. I thought it was going to echo. Are we getting an echo? Found this way too often to fully fall for
He's
it.
putting it on just a little too thick.
Yeah, from your background and experience, because he rolled quite high on the dice, so you can't quite peg his intentions.
Sure.
But you've been through this song and dance too many times to totally trust it.
Okay.
He's being very gracious. He goes, "Yes, I'm very happy to see you. My name is Chemnus Dyer. I own some.
Oh my!
companies
I'm sorry. Just a moment. I'm gonna just like walk past him, out to where the other folks are trying to wash off, and just you poor things. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Just snap a couple prestidigitates at him, and clean up a little bit of the smell.
Yep. So actually, Dana just kind of goes, oh, "Thank you," because someone wouldn't only did that for himself. She says, and the daggers are flying at Chemnus from her eyes.
Wow, that's an asshole move.
Yeah, they're not good
goodness.
people. Like I told you this. Like, you must be letting again. Once again, another insight check there. Oh no.
From me,
Yeah, from you, please. And Tessa, you've probably followed Nikki.
a 15.
I got a 13.
Even both of you know this bitch is a Karen, like straight up hair bob, whole thing.
She walked in with the haircut, and she opened like her first sentence was blaming someone who she walked in with. So
Yeah.
it doesn't take a high roll to figure that one out.
No, she rolled very poorly too. And she just starts berating her relative. She introduced herself as Dana Sashin, And the other gentleman, Brush, introduces himself as Brush Side Hollow. And the one thing you're noticing, Nick, is they all have different last names.
Interesting.
None of them share. None of them have Quellback as a last name, which is your distant relative's surname.
Okay. So it was Dana what?
Dana, I will type these to you later so we can
Okay.
save some time. I'm going to send you
Perfect.
a document.
Okay.
Yep, they all come in, and they all, Dana leads the charge as she kind of comes into the house and starts looking around as if she owns the place. Thrax is sort of posted up on the inside watching her, and Tessa, something you would notice, and probably Nikki without a lot of effort, is she looks at Thrax and just goes, ugh, and then moves off.
Oh no, she
Okay.
did.
Oh, I see her start to like walk into the main room. Oh, I'm sorry. I only see guests in the parlor. This way, please.
Guests? I thought we were family.
You should come in the back door. Oh.
I don't say anything directly back. I just say and smile.
So they do. At this point, Locke comes out, and she looks up. Like, Locke is a full head taller than she is, and he goes, and Locke's just like, I'll have to ask you to go to the parlor as the lady was requested, and she just once again, and then walks
You are breaking up something fierce.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
well, I
I
wasn't
heard
sure.
that too. Yeah.
Cutting in and
landed gentry folks and nouveau riche folks. Although you can see the sort of bad taste this is leaving in her mouth. That to please go, and it's not a request. It's a you should go before I pick you up and take you, small tiny person. And she spins and then goes as the other two guys have just left. But Dana does shoot another look at Thrax, and there is this this face, this sour face she makes when she looks at him, and he just smiles. And then Bosco farts, and then she and then moves off.
I'm gonna press the digitate as we're walking through the parlor. The fart smells just kind of follow her.
Yeah.
The day
Allie will
smells.
be in Fox form and join you guys in the parlor because basically she didn't want to go outside because she wasn't sure if the footmen would still be out there, but she's assuming they were not invited in with the other guests. So
No, they're the help. Come on.
she'll just be in Fox form.
Ooh, can I invite them in? That's gonna piss them off like nothing else.
It's your place if you totally want to.
Yeah. Okay, so once Locke has escorted them into the parlor, I'll be like, just a moment. I'm gonna kind of stick my head back out the front door and be like, hey, you guys want to come in?
And you see they're attending to the coach, and they're trying to get the smell out of it. They're like, sure. If
We've
is
got
that
snacks and stuff. Yeah, it's chill.
are you sure, madam? And they're like, they're sort of that is this a test? Is this a trap?
No,
There's
you're
a-
good. You good. Hold on. I'm gonna head back inside and go. Just run over to Phyllis, who I assume is close. Can you send someone out to make sure that their coach is secured?
Oh, of
Their
course.
folks have been walking a long way. We got to treat the help right.
Oh well, of course. I'll head out there myself. And he starts cobbling his way out there.
A+.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll stick my head back out front and be like, all right, yeah, Phyllis is going to be out. He's my keeper. He's stellar. He's going to take care of you guys, all right?
Okay.
Seriously. It's cool.
Okay. Okay, and they just, Phyllis comes out and sort of gets them something to eat, something to drink, and he gives them decent booze. But your three family members are sitting in the parlor. Brush.
I'm going to make them wait 3 minutes longer than would be polite.
Dana is simmering as you sort of peek in. Chemnist is just thinking this is hilarious. He really seems to enjoy his whatever Dana is to him. Her anger just seems to fuel him, and he really enjoys it. And Brush is just sort of hanging out, just not really doing anything. He's sort of a faraway look in his eyes, and he's just sort of not... You don't think he's in the room, despite the fact that he's physically there.
Right, yeah.
Allie has keyed in on Dana being the easiest one to irritate. So she's not up in her lap or anything, but she's doing that thing that animals do when they clearly want your attention of some sort. So it seems like they're making stirring noises at you, and sometimes they're sniffing at your feet very intently as though there's something interesting there, or trying to investigate stray threads hanging off of your stuff.
The old classic, like sit there and stare at you, then when you finally like reach a hand out or something, get up and run away.
Yes, that a lot.
Oh.
So as this goes, Dana looks at Chemnus and just goes, "Can you please do something about this?" And he goes, "Fine." And he uses conjure water to spritz you like you would a cat.
I'm trying to decide what to do this. One second.
In the meantime, while you're working on that,
Escalation.
you eventually join them, and they sort of ask you. They're asking you questions, although Brush doesn't say really much besides like hello. He's polite.
Okay.
But that's sort of like formal, like you're at a family reunion and your mother has introduced you to someone that you've never known, but apparently
Sure.
like, is your relative. He's just there. He exists. Dana is asking very probing questions as if you're a teenager and have brought home a significant other or told your parental unit about a significant other, and they're very, very interested in this.
Okay.
Chemnus is sitting asking follow-up questions that are probably not as probing, but he's definitely seeking information. And you are apt enough to kind of dodge around the basic stuff because they're not like hardcore interrogating you, but they're attempting to pull information from you. Okay,
interesting. What kinds of information are they looking for?
Mostly your background, lineage, what your connection is, how it all happened, what your future plans are for this place. There is a point where Dana does ask you about what you're paying your people, like your staff at the house, as well as like the amount of goods you're allowing your laborers to keep. So like the farmers, the miners, like what cut are you giving them?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. When she brings up anything remotely resembling like my finances, I'll absolutely just like dodge, prevaricate, outright lie, but in ways that are obvious, Oh yes, 1,000 gold stipend a day.
If she had pearls, she would clutch them. Chemnus laughs because he understands that like that would be fucking preposterous, but again, he's just really enjoying seeing Dana freak out.
I'm sorry. What are you trying to get at?
Are you directing that toward all of them, or are you
towards Donna specifically?
Okay. So Dana looks at you and she's like, "We're just trying to get to know our kin," and you don't need an inside check. That's bullshit. Chemnus looks to you as if the charade has now become boring.
I'll raise an eyebrow at him.
Yeah, and he
because like Donna's response is obviously like nonsense. I'll just like turn to him, like maybe he'll give me a straight answer.
So Chemnus looks at you and he's just like, my dear Doxborn, we four. We used to think we three are the last of this particular line, and we are trying to restart it to gain some more footing around here in the peaks. So
Good. You're the last of that line. Good.
We thought we three alone, but clearly you are, a welcomed addition. And there's like a little bit of truth to that one, Nikki. Like he is generally happy that you're here. Probably.
Can I do an insight check now that I'm actually part of listening to this conversation? Yeah, you can
make an insight check. There's a little bit, and you think it might be because you're just pissing Dana off so goddamn much that this is now a delightful thing that he wants to have.
I take that into consideration. Yes.
18.
Are you looking for something specific, or is the general like vibe of the room?
I'm looking to see if is Chemnus being legit, or is this just another tack to try and get on Nikki's good side in order to get some additional underlying goal?
Honestly, from what you can tell, it seems like a bit of both. Like the fact that Nikki has made Dana so furious genuinely delights this man. He is reveling in it, and he has made no qualms about hiding that. Like he and this other woman probably clash constantly, and the fact that Nikki could be a potential ally to him tickles him. he definitely has his own agenda. You're just not sure of what that is at the moment.
Okay.
I was thinking, so we were hoping to like our you don't know how things work here in the Peaks, do you, Docksborn?
Well, I know pretty well.
You don't, though. The people of the Peaks are very independent, very free people, and although we do have a tendency to confederate and band together, strength is what is respected up here, both martial and savvy. We are hoping to gain...
I'm gonna finish his sentence when he says both martial. I'm like, and savvy. Yeah, I've heard the spiel.
And he nods at you and he goes, so we, people like us, and he points to you, we need...
That, there... He doesn't know it, probably, but there is very little that would get me to trust him less than a like us with a gutter snipe. The only person who says like us to gutter kids is cops who are trying to get you to stand closer to them.
Yeah, basically. But he does continue to say this, and he goes, those of us with an affinity, and he casts a minor illusion in his hand that looks to be a map of the Peaks. Just, a rough map of it.
Okay.
He goes, we have the ability to have a bit more than the others, right? Work for the betterment of ourselves and our lessers. And he stresses lessers. They're not good people. So
no, they're not good people, dude.
They're the bad.
Dude,
they're the bad
just
guys.
like, I fucking love your villains.
Thank you.
You ride the line of like realistic, but like so hateable.
I want you to
so
feel
good.
When you eventually torch this man with a meteor, I want you to feel really good about it.
Yeah, you do a good job.
Yeah.
I already feel good just thinking about it.
Right. But he lays out a plan for kind of like economic expansion, right? It's sort of gaining territory and influence, not through, the old days of like conquering other areas, which is something that might happen from time to time in the skirmishes and some of the political things, but through economic influence, right? Cornering markets, trying to get like as much of a monopoly as you can on like magical items and sources of power like that, because magic is pretty commonplace in the world. So like if you can control like all the ever burning torches in an area, that puts you in an advantage. And that is a very tycoon type of thing. The one thing you've learned about the Peaks, though, is that...
Big Bezos energy?
Yeah, big Amazon energy. The one thing you've sort of learned about the Peaks, though, is that some of these folks don't really give a shit and would probably roll up to this guy and choke him out if he was like trying to do what like the electric companies in Texas are doing. People would actually rebel and like burn his shit to the ground because they're just not going to handle it. And a lot of the local government would probably let them. Like, they would make sure they're not, like, slaughtering the village, but, like, no, he took all your food, like, unduly. Like, you don't owe him that much. Like, go ahead. Like,
yeah.
You've
good old pragmatic banditry.
Yeah. But the free Peaks are very, and like, that's what you learn even from your folks. Like, the people who should be under you, it doesn't work like the sort of, like, homogenous, like, hierarchy. Like, they're here, they're with you, and they were with your distant grandmother because they wanted to be. They opted to be because your grandmother gave them a good deal. There were other people they could be with, but they were like, nah, fuck them. Like, we'd rather work for you. And he's sort of, he is hoping that you will join. And this is the thing, he is genuinely making you an offer, and even Aaliyah would be able to tell that he's making you, he wants you to join him in this because you do technically own like the biggest swath of property. You're not all of it, but you own the biggest chunk that there is. At least in Roscoe's holding on this side of the mountains.
Sure.
Allie's gonna leave the room. And Fox runs out of the room.
Games.
You have to tell me what you're doing, right? You can't just, I can't see it in the chat.
It's good. It's in another channel. Allie and Foxboy is going to go out to the carriage, see if Donna's got any clothes in the carriage, and if she does, pee on them. It's in the memes channel, Scoot. It's right there.
I can't see the memes channel when I'm DMing a scene with Rob and trying to make you a villain you're going to murder. All right, I have to establish this. Otherwise, it's just homicide.
Okay, so I don't want to, like, outright tell him to go fuck himself, because it's a little early in my career to be making serious enemies, right? I would rather go into competition with him, steal all of his money, and then take him out. You know, well, I could on a personal level certainly tell him to go fuck himself and come out totally fine. I've got everyone here to back me up. Like, I'm trying to be thoughtful about like the economic impact of like whatever holdings they have.
Okay. So while this conversation is happening, what are the rest of you doing? Are you actually
trying to go Dennis clothes in the cart? That's what I'm doing.
We were all contributing to the Slap Chat conversation about where to pee.
and how much to pee.
Look, so Allie did specifically ask if Nikki was okay with this, and Nikki managed to like scratch her arm and slap chat carriage. So Allie's going.
Make me a stealth check.
You said all of the footmen came inside.
They did.
Best.
13.
Okay.
If it's not enough, I'll reroll. Because I kind of like these.
I mean, you think you're stealthed. No one's around that you can see.
Yeah, but like Ellie's thing. So my passive perception is 22. Do I think anyone has actually noticed me?
In fox form, heading towards the carriage, you don't notice anything.
Okay.
So you head in. You find they have like other clothing and stuff in there. Are you painting the place with fox urine, or are you?
No, specifically just gonna do Dana's stuff, so that like it could plausibly be blamed on one of the other ones who enjoyed her being pissed off.
With a fox, though, since your sense of smell is kicked up, you can tell which one is her. She smells like old church, probably. I didn't really think about what they smell like. So you find where her seat is, and you...
Old church and cheap perfume.
Yeah, like real, like not... Stuff they like...
Like that's Kmart perfume.
Yeah.
Kmart. She had to go find the open Kmart, the only open Kmart in the tri-state area.
You
right next to the last Blockbuster.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope. I mean, I'm not like mess up. No, I'm not even gonna mess up her stuff a little bit. I'm just gonna pee on her stuff and leave.
Make another perception. Make a perception check, please.
23.
You notice Waggle Dagger and the other two footmen are coming out of the house as you're like getting ready to leave the carriage, and he's they're very happy because they basically have like beers and some food, and like he's being very gracious to them. They're very happy to not be with those three people. So
I mean, look, if you're walking out of the house, then I will exit the carriage in the other direction and just go like, I don't know, wait in some bushes for a while.
Okay, so make me a stealth check.
Bush fox.
16.
You think you're stealthed?
I'm gonna just nap in some bushes for a while.
Okay.
What does the fox spray?
Yo.
Tessa, Nikki,
so we're not actually napping in bushes, just like kind of hunkering down, just like hanging out in the bush.
Mm-hmm. So Tessa, is Tessa or Kiki doing anything right now?
I'm leaning up against the wall with my arms crossed, looking intimidating.
So you know that tisk she gave Dana gave to Thrax?
Yeah.
She gives one to you.
I kind of narrow my eyes. It's just like, I'm watching you, bitch. You move a single hair from your blonde head.
Kiki's been listening outside the door. She's let the group know that. She's paying particular attention to the cadence of people's voices in case she needs to mimic them later. And her hand keeps going to her
Like a bomb.
bag of tricks, but a rope bomb.
Okay.
At this stage, she's heard what Nikki said, but she's like, that's what she's like if she needs it. She's not going crossbow, like she's not going kaboom bomb. She's just like, if I need to tie a bitch up, I'm gonna tie a bitch.
Nikki and Tessa, make perception checks.
Ah, yes. My greatest talent.
Oh, I I'm going to reroll that. Luck that.
And I got a 4 and a 5.
You know what? I'm going to roll with it.
Okay.
I want to see what happens. Let's make things interesting.
Oh, no.
That's on brand, though.
So I will
It
say
is.
Tessa sees her mouth something to herself. You're not sure, but it definitely ended with tieflings.
Ooh.
She's a racist.
Are you flipping her the bird? Are you actually?
I'll wait for her to turn her head and then do that real quick.
Just a little.
Do you have to roll a stealth check for sleight of hand?
I'll roll stealth check.
Yeah, roll stealth
A
check.
17. Did
Okay.
you see
Ooh, a
it?
17 for a sneaky bird.
So she doesn't see it, but
I also think Tessa doesn't care.
no,
Tessa doesn't
but
give a
so
fuck.
she doesn't see it, right? Because she starts talking to Nikki again, and Nikki kind of moves is seated in such a way that they're in between you two. So it's like Nikki, them, you're out of her vision. But Brush, the one who has to say anything, just looks at you and he's like, ha! And that's the only thing he says the entire
That
time.
laugh.
Yeah. Because he watches you do it, and he's like, ha! And then just goes back to sitting there quietly.
Rob, I think it's one of the hardest. One of the times I've seen you laugh the hardest ever in the game so far.
I love this image. He's just sitting there like dead still. Might as well be a statue the whole time. Just dead staring at Tessa, flipping down at the bird. And then just back to his statue. Just no one responds. Nothing.
No one else sees it.
That's it. Nothing.
Tessa, you see
I
it
love
because it's
that.
the only thing you're paying attention to. And like Nikki, you kind of see something out of the corner of your eye, but you have to
Oh my
deal with the
gosh.
other two that are like talking at you.
Yeah.
Time goes on though, and they
I have a response for Cam.
Kenneth,
Yeah. Oh, this is a very generous offer. I do appreciate it. As it's relatively early in my sort of leading the holdings here, I think I'm going to wait on diversifying any assets, but I'll certainly let you know.
Well, don't wait too long, he says, looking a little miffed now that you've turned him down. Opportunities do not last forever, and, there are timetables to consider. But I believe we'll need to be leaving now, as we must get back to our own estates, so... Cousin, what shall we call you, Docksborn? Will we do
Nikki
that?
will do.
Very well. We will see you soon, Docksborn. And he gives you like a nod, and like waits to be for the other two to say. So Dana just is of.
I'll stand up and open the door for them, as if Kem does speak for all
she'll
of them.
back away from the door at this point.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah. So Kem nods, but you get the look of him, and he's like, okay, like this is going to be interesting. Dana is a huff and a puff, like a very angry middle-aged white woman having a.
She is ruffled.
Yeah,
her bangs are all out of order.
Her gyms are ruffled. So she's the next one out. Then Brush just kind of sits there for a little bit, like longer than the other two, as they're like clearly going to the carriage, and he gets up and he just looks at both of you, and he nods to Nikki, and he goes back to Tess, and he's just like, and then just leaves without another word.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll wave to them from the front door. I'll hit them with the old classic. I hope the rest of your day is as pleasant as you all are.
Nice.
They don't
Nice.
respond to you, but you do hear Dana yelling about piss as the coachman look in. They're like, ugh, and they start like one of them just pulls off the jack and just lets her sit on it.
I do my best to look innocent as they drive away.
Yep, and they move away from your compound
It's
back
not
to
your
where they're
piss.
going.
Allie comes up out of the bushes, still in fox form, looking as smug as a fox can look.
So as that happens, though, Waggle Dagger, who has seen them away, just kind of comes up to you, and he's gonna try to pick you up.
It's not going to work. My dex is no.
Okay.
My dex is no.
No.
So you move, and he looks down at you, and he's like, "That was a very naughty thing you've done," and he's smiling like, "You cheeky monkey!" Like he's enjoying it, but there's this sense of he has to chide you. He should chide you.
Allie will pop back out of fox form. Which he's seen that. Like, that's not new. He'd seen her in fox and regular form earlier.
Right, to go but like from where he's looking down at you to where he's not looking up to you.
And she's gonna wink at him and say, "Story of my life," and walk back in.
And he just follows you in.
Kiki will absolutely high-five you as soon as you walk inside.
Cheeky,
That's
I'm
just laughing.
seeing a prosperous and innovative working relationship here.
Yes. Kiki does a little, like, sort of silent clap.
Oh, Allie,
Wheels are
wait till you
turning.
meet Roscoe. I think you and her will also get along.
Well, if this morning is anything to go by, I think I'm going to get along delightfully with all of you.
Kiki cocks her head to the side.
She definitely
and
blushes
she's like,
over at Nikki in particular when she says that.
I close the door and come back over to the table, which I assume everyone has gathered back around the food, since it was conspicuously left out for them to not eat.
Yeah. Well, it is in a different room. Like, you were in like a dining room. They went to the parlor where they're not allowed.
Oh, I hope that they could see it as they walked past, though.
Oh, obviously, they definitely smelled like the good doshnesses.
Yeah.
We're not breaking out
okay.
the good china for you all.
I'll walk back in. Yeah, fucking bring out the paper plates.
Use the pizza box. Fuck them.
So I'll walk back in. You guys kicked ass. Oh, that went really a lot better than I had feared.
I love the casual snark of just the little touches. Very, very good.
Oh my gosh, Tessa, you were cold. I was practically shivering.
I did not like her.
Oh, did you see what she mouthed there?
I didn't. All I heard was tiefling, but I saw the look she gave.
That's all I got too.
Kiki will look over at Ali.
I'm sorry.
And be
I was
like,
okay. Did you
she'll
see
be like,
that to like talk about? And you're like, did you? No, did you actually see it? Because I didn't see it.
Yeah.
All I know is I
Displaced
kind
a
of
little
like.
bit. Okay, Phyllis, how were the footmen? What's the skinny?
Oh well, they're not very.
I do
skinny,
my
sir.
best to talk to Phyllis with like my most all the Zoomer words that I know.
Before we get into that, Randall, did you have something? Something I cut you off.
Oh, just Kiki's gonna look at Ali and be like, subtle could be fun. Like, 'cause she was like, she had like 0 to kaboom in her mind, you know, like,
Yeah.
and now she's like gradations. Like, okay, she kind of nods with respect to Ali. Yeah, that's it.
I can do
Subtle
1.5.
An unexpected setup for not subtle.
And so Waggle Dagger looks at you and he's like, they're the bee's knees, madam? I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Did they have anything, you know, a little good food, a little beer, any good dirt?
Oh,
Any good intel?
Of course, I can't be one to, gossip about employers is of course not something I would do as your keeper. Now the cook, she likes to squawk, and then he smiles a little bit and moves. Sort of sees, he looks and sees Kiki, and he's like, I shouldn't have said that.
She doesn't say anything. She just pulls out her notebook and makes a notation and puts it away very calmly. That's it.
Okay.
Allie behind her sees that the notation is literally just an intentional scribble.
Yeah,
This is trying to intimidate you by making a scribble mark.
She
And
finishes a formula that she was working on previously.
That's it.
They do call the cook out, who informs you that the footmen are from Chemnis's homestead. That they are. They don't mind Chemnis. He pays decently if you're on his good side. Like, if you do what you're supposed to do, you don't talk a whole lot, you'll be alright. But again, you gotta really be careful when you're around him. They think Dana is a fucking nightmare in general. And, like, that driver was gonna probably... he thought, like, I could probably drive this off a cliff into a ravine and, like, no one would...
No one would mind.
If I could just not have my boss in here somehow, like if he could, I don't know. He's like, I don't know if he can teleport.
And get a medal for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real though.
Oddly, like no one knows much about Brush. They know he's like a weirdly passive income. They say like he doesn't know. They don't know where his money comes from or like what he does, because like no one knows. Like, no one has any goddamn idea. He does, like, he lives in Stormire. He lives in Stormire, which is, like, the capital. But the other two are, like, running estates like you are, but no one knows where his money comes from. And, like, they've learned not to ask those questions.
Okay. Interesting. Phyllis, how much of the conversation could you hear?
Again, I wouldn't gossip, but I thought, you might be distracted. So, of course, I lended an ear, perhaps to offer another point of view.
Phyllis, you are always welcome to listen at the parlor door, as it were.
Don't worry, I do.
Honestly, that's good. Keep that up. How did I handle the finance questions? I was a bit out of my depth there, but I tried my best to dodge.
Well, I like the idea of 1,000 gold a day. I don't think it's very practical, madam. I'm sure that...
Yeah, the coffers don't go that deep.
No. But you were fairly good. You were very good to keep those numbers away from them, because Chemnis is... he is a magic user. He's not very apt. He did not do very well at the academies. He actually worked for the Tory a little bit during the War of the Prophecy, supposedly, although no one can confirm that. But he was offered some magical training by them and the old followers of Nazrax. But he's not you are a much better magic user than he is, certainly, even from what little I've seen you do.
Oh, and boy, you ain't seen nothing yet. Thank you, by the way.
Makes him nervous. Oh, good.
Accurate. Look, there's a room that I've got a whole bunch of circles drawn out on the ground, and I've told all the staff very clearly, don't walk in the room if I have not gone in first to do the wards.
That's concerning.
You've told the staff? Have you told us?
Have you told Kiki?
I have not told all of you yet.
Do not wander the grounds. Do not get
It's
stuck
in the basement. The door's closed.
Again. Well, I mean, it's me. So, noted.
Well, Tessa can't get through most doors, so it's fine.
What if Tessa, it's not that she can't get through most doors, it's that, like, doors just act inversely to her? Like, a locked door, she's just gonna phase right through.
Now,
but an open door?
By phase, you mean
No,
Kool-Aid man her way through, right?
No wonder she has such trouble with love and relationships, because as everyone knows, love is an open door.
Hey.
I thought love was a battlefield. Which Tessa would excel at, actually.
That song is actually on her playlist, by the way.
Of course it is.
Wait, which one?
Love is a battlefield.
He does look to you, though, and he goes, I did catch what Lady Sashin commented about your friends.
What did she
Is
say?
it,
What did she say?
It was a very old derogatory term for the it was when the Tiefling when the Tory were occupying the peaks. It was an old term for them that is not flattering. Certainly.
Bet she'd have even more fun seeing me.
Especially if she
Kiki
knows
just has a bot.
she knows what you did.
Kiki has one of her bombs out and a screwdriver, and she's just tightening it, like, really slowly and really, like, she's so pissed. She's just like, she wants to, like, arm up.
Oh.
She's so...
But I would imagine, I know we've entertained, and he gets this really big smile. Your employer, I'm sure, I have a feeling they don't know whom you are assigned to, as it were. I feel they may not know that.
Some of the approaches they took would be inadvisable if they actually knew my background, so I'm sure they don't.
Well, yes, and especially who you're currently working for.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like they didn't do their like
They didn't do
their
homework on
background research, so they surely
Due
haven't done
diligence?
very much present research. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is a wonderful day. I hope you folks could enjoy the grounds. I'm sure Lady Barrick's daughter will be here at any time. I'm sure she's caught up after that tire fire incident.
Nikki just does this long-suffering sigh.
Tessa thinks it's actually tires on fire.
Allie knows for sure that Tessa thinks it's tires on fire.
Because that's what I thought it was when you first said it.
Actually, same.
I was like, they have
Well-
tires in the old time?
They don't.
Can I offer you guys a tour?
Sure.
Living
Yeah.
on your land, but sure. I don't know if she's ever been in the house before, so...
Well, I didn't
This
really
might be
like.
like one of 3 times Kiki's been in the house, like actual house, because been working
You
on
might
shit.
be right.
Yeah.
I'll do the whole new house grand tour. I'll actually warn them of the basement room. That's where I was working on ritual spells with Neva. There's a bunch of wards up. Don't fuck with it. Probably.
Oh, Kiki takes her hand off the doorknob.
And like there was a solid month that like maybe even 2 months that Neva was there, and like that was most of what she was doing, like was working on stuff with Nikki, and then she got the letter and had to go.
Yeah, we're basically working on like wizardry PhD down there.
Yeah.
There's some heavy shenanigans.
In true keeping with in characters are like Kate. Basically, it was about a quarter of a PhD without actually having like signed up for doing a PhD, and she was just doing the research because she was interested enough in it to do it anyway. This does not reflect real life at all in any way, shape, or form for me.
No, but
Of course not.
As Nikki leads the group out for the grander tour of the grounds, so that folks can meet some of the workers here, we will end tonight. And hopefully we will have our beloved Barrick's daughter back next week, so they can meet the newest addition to the team.
Hooray!
So thank
Come back soon, Will. We missed you. Feel better.
So thank you all for once again coming to Ryam, and we will hopefully see you all next week. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.